I'm very happy to be here. But also, the theme of the conference, aligning finance with climate action, a path to sustainable banking. I mean, it could be a UN conference, right? Not only is it imperative, and I'll say a bit more about that, but I'm very happy to be here because of the title of the conference as well. And, you know, going back 20 years, for those of you who are old enough, you may remember that banks and other institutions, when they talked about sustainability and MDGs and whatever, the perspective was different. It was generally because they were trying to do a bit of extra marketing, a bit of CSR, a bit of charity, make the staff feel good, you know. But that has changed significantly in the last 2 decades, and now we see and we can hear from the MD that working on sustainability, working on the climate, working on the Sustainable Development Goals is now seen as an integral, imperative part of business, because that helps business to survive, that helps business to keep up, that helps to make money as well, and it helps to look forward. So I want to thank the MD and also the staff at Fidelity and others here as well who are working on this, I think for all the right reasons. So thank you for that. My name is Zia Chowdhury. The MC said it pretty well, and I want to just say thank you again for welcoming me here. I'm the new UN Resident Coordinator, that means Head of Mission, and I'm the UN Secretary General's representative in Ghana. So very exciting to be here. And before I go any further, I also want to say a big thanks to our sign interpreter. She has the most difficult and tiring job. I'm sure many of you have been to sessions where you learned how to say your name, but you've forgotten, right? Yeah, I also have done it several times, but I've forgotten. So even that basic one sentence, we forget how to do it. But she's going to be here for the next few hours doing it, so I really appreciate her. Now, colleagues, in my first few weeks here in Accra, I asked my colleagues, can you please immerse me into Ghana so I can learn as much as I can. They took me to a few places, but they also told me about a young entrepreneur who runs a solar-powered cold storage facility. And they talked about not just one, but a couple. But one of them they talked about really helps vegetable sellers and fishmongers and others to cut waste, store more longer, and earn more income. And I'm going to meet that young entrepreneur because I really believe that it's important to be reminded that behind all these financial decisions and investments, there are human beings who basically benefit from this. And that person, that young entrepreneur, I'm sure many of you know that person, is not only running a business and making money for their family, but helping market traders to have a longer shelf life, helping to transport. I think our MC mentioned that as well. And ultimately helps us as customers because we get fresh products to the table at a better cost. So today's discussion matters for this reasons, because the financing shapes, the decisions we take in finance, it shapes the lives of individuals, communities, businesses, and ultimately the planet. So good for all. The conference also is important for me personally and for the UN. It comes at quite a defining moment in our history. We're approaching the 80th anniversary, so we'll be 80 years old in October. And the founding vision of the UN was about peace, dignity, prosperity for all. In those days when it was founded, we never really talked so much about the planet, but now we know that planet is one of the key issues. Can we maintain a healthy planet? And one of the greatest tests that we all face is about climate change. And I think I don't need to go into details because you all know about that. But the Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, has warned us multiple times. Let me quote from him. He said recently that humanity is at a crossroads. Then he went on to talk about, as he's very optimistic, he said, it's also a moment of opportunity. You know, this is a crisis globally, but we have to see it as an opportunity. And he talks endlessly about the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy and how urgent that is. But he also says it's absolutely inevitable because it makes economic sense. It strengthens the energy security, energy access for individuals, for communities, for businesses. Now, in all of this, when we talk about economic sense, and I'm sure there are many people here, well, I hope there are many finance whizzes and economists, otherwise you shouldn't be running a bank, right? But I've met many economists who have explained to me endlessly that investing in renewables provides a far greater return on investment than investing in old fossil fuel technology. So they give me all the numbers, and they make sense. They're backed up, solid numbers. But the numbers were even more backed up, even more brought to life for me. A couple of years ago, I was based in Botswana, in southern Africa, and I met a board member of a coal production plant. And he said to me, and I have to add in brackets, after a few drinks, yeah? He opened up after a few solid drinks. He said to me, to make money for longer, we need to switch to solar. But we are too emotionally tied to coal. And then he went on to say, we love the dirt and the history. And it's difficult to love something you can't hold in your hand. He's talking about the sun. So it's a very emotional, drunken discussion. I wasn't drinking, he was. Just let me clarify that. But the next time I met him, he was sober. And he had gone back to being in a loving relationship with coal again. And he'd forgotten about his fleeting love affair with solar. And that was a problem for me. But the point of that discussion was that at the heart of the transformation from old technology to new technology is finance. It's about what we invest, and it's about what we make back from that, and it's about how long we can make it for, not just a short-term decision. So the choices that banks, insurers, investors make today, in these days, will decide what gets built, what gets protected, and also what gets left behind. So I would like to say that we need to invest in a new love affair. And if we don't make that new love affair with the future, we will end up battling for survival today. We will not be building our loving relationships. And when I talk about survival, it's very practical. Ghana, like many nations around the world, but particularly in Africa, are really facing the realities of climate change and climate crisis today. There's rising temperatures, erratic rainfall, increasing vulnerability of communities and businesses. And as is always true, and as the Secretary General always says, within every challenge, there's an opportunity. There's a strategic opportunity. And that one is to build and to finance a just, inclusive, and competitive transition. The numbers are stark, and I'm not going to bore you with lots of them, but let's just look at a couple of them. The figures say that Ghana needs over $22 billion by 2030 to meet its own set nationally determined contributions under the Paris Agreement. To achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, more than $40 billion annually will be required. Now, bridging this gap requires managing risks. It also requires unlocking investments to drive further innovation, to create more jobs and build resilience. And finance has the power to accelerate that journey. The private sector, especially the banks, are at the forefront. They have to be, and I don't have to lecture you on that because we're here to discuss that. It's not set up by me or the UN. This is set up by the banks themselves. They are uniquely positioned to mobilize capital, de-risk innovation, and scale up climate solutions. I don't want to lecture you on that. Did I need to tell you that? Not really, because you're here to discuss that of your own accord, and thank you for the invitation to be part of that journey. Fidelity Bank's leadership does show what's possible, and they've done a few very important things, many things which the MD mentioned, but from my perspective, signing the UN Principles for Responsible Banking, joining the UNEP, UN Environmental Programme's Finance Initiative, and other collaborations with the United Nations, Fidelity has committed to aligning its operations here with global sustainability standards. And its growing green portfolio does offer very practical solutions. I think I'll repeat some of the ones which MD mentioned. There's concessional loans supporting adoption of electric vehicles. There's financing renewable energy systems for schools and hospitals. And these are things which will demonstrate that climate action and business success can go hand in hand. And they do send a very powerful signal that where banks lead, the entire economy can follow. But also where banks lead, individuals and communities gain benefits now and in the future. The United Nations in Ghana is quite extensive. We are 37 accredited agencies here, and we are very much all ready to walk the journey with you. I'm not just talking to Fidelity, I'm talking to everybody in the room. We have many agencies, some are represented here, UNFPA, but we have UNCDF, Capital Development Fund, we have UN Development Programme, we have International Fund for Agricultural Development, International Organization for Migration, UN Global Compact. There are many. But these few that I've mentioned, they are really working tangibly on unlocking climate finance, strengthening regulatory frameworks, and building the capacity for sustainable investment. One thing that we've learned very clearly is that no single actor can solve this alone. And that's why partnerships between government, private sector, civil society, and others are essential. And I want to emphasize that cooperation between others in so-called Global South are imperative because they are learning at the same rate we are, and we can learn from each other and share our examples and look for investments from one another. These are essential. That's why gatherings like this are fundamentally, yes, we're going to learn a lot, but it's also about building new partnerships. The Secretary-General has called on all countries to present new, bold climate plans aligned with the 1.5 degrees limit. And these plans have to triple renewable energy capacity and double energy efficiency in the next 5 years. And that does require banks' support, for sure, in order to make sure that markets can access the relevant finance, but also just scale up. The numbers are a bit scary, but let's always ask ourselves, what is it that we are trying to build as a legacy? Will we be remembered as a generation that really tackled this crisis head-on? Or will we be remembered as a generation that kind of left it to others to deal with? Or, to go back to my earlier analogy, are we hanging on to doomed and expensive relationships with the past? Or is our legacy going to be about having a love affair with a more clean, long-lasting future? Now, you know, I talk about love affairs all the time. Just let me be clear that this is not some sort of extended metaphor for the state of my own family. I'm in a very loving relationship. My wife brings sunshine into my life. So, in case she's listening on the radio, this is not about you, love. This is about general love affairs with the future. So, I want to close by coming back to the story of the young Ghanaian entrepreneur, the one with the solar-powered cold storage. I'm imagining I'm imagining thousands like her getting the support, the technical, the financial, the advisory, but also the solidarity which is needed for thousands like him and her, particularly I'm looking at hers, to build clean, future-facing and pragmatic solutions to very real problems which exist in her life and our collective lives. That's what I'm looking for. Our work together should emulate the work of those young entrepreneurs. They're courageous, they're ambitious, they're pragmatic, and they're future-facing. And our work can unlock the capital, can unlock the ambition, and can unlock many things which will allow her to be prosperous, to live a better life, and indeed for all of us to be prosperous and all of us to live better lives, and critically, to help the planet remain healthy for future generations. Thank you very much for your kind attention and wishing you all a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you. Another round of applause for His Excellency Zia Chaudhry. So I was just engaging him to know which day of the week he was born. You can't come to Ghana and not be given a local name. You were born on Tuesday, so you're a Kwabena or a Kobi. Okay? So, Honorable Kobi Akwaba. Weasel. We hope you enjoy Ghana. We've done a lot with the UN. And we hope you also leave your footprint and make an impact with us. Thank you so much. And when you spoke, I was taking notes. The realities of climate crisis are upon us. A year or two ago, there was a lot of water in the Akosombo Dam. We had to spill. We lost a lot of property. As we speak, the Bagre Dam has been spilled. Over 700,000 acres of farmlands will be affected. We need to finance strategies that are going to mitigate all these problems. And you said that there are a lot of opportunities within the challenges. And you looked at Julian and you said we need to mobilize capital and de-risk innovation, which he's doing, but now maybe for the 22 billion we need, Fidelity should contribute to the 20, the rest of us will do susu and add the 2 billion. And we need to build a new love affair with the future. So every morning when we wake up, we need to hug the planet and whisper in her ears, are you okay? What can we do better for you today? Thank you so much for your kind words. We are going to move into the panel session, but before that, I have a special performance by one of our greatest when it comes to poetry, the arts, spoken word. He'll be performing for us very soon. He's my own brother. He has gold on his chest, but that doesn't mean you should think of mining on his chest. No Galamsey here, we are against Galamsey. But before that, let's get a quick security briefing and then we'll bring in Nana Asase to give us a performance. But if you are listening on radio, this is the Fidelity Bank Sustainability Conference 2025. It's happening at the Palms by Eagles, formerly Holiday Inn Hotel here in Accra. The theme is aligning finance with climate action, a path to sustainable banking. So we'll take a quick security brief before we bring in Nana Asase. Please.
Thank you all very much, and good morning to everyone. My name is Diamond. I'm with the sales team here. I'm sure some of you may be already aware of the Palms by Eagles brand, but for the benefit of those who are not, we're a 100% locally owned hotel chain with hotels in Accra and Takoradi. Now, in Takoradi, we have a total of over 400 guest rooms and multiple meeting spaces. So when you think about conferences and events outside of Accra, we want you to think about Takoradi. We have huge conference facilities that will seat over 2,000 people. In Accra, we have 2 hotels, one of them just by Association International School, and then this is our most recent flagship. Now, in terms of security, well, the most important one, the washroom. When you go outside of the door, to your left, you will have access to the washrooms. Should you need to go further, in our hotel lobby, we have access to more washrooms. In the unfortunate event of a fire, the fire alarms will sound, a fire marshal will come and lead everyone outside. We have 2 assembly points, one by the poolside and the other at the car park. Let's hope we don't have to use that. And in case of a medical emergency, we have a team to administer first aid on site. But should we need an ambulance, Airport Clinic is just 2 minutes away, so we can have an ambulance on site very, very quickly. So I hope you all enjoy yourselves today. We invite you to, in fact, check out our premises and our facilities after your event is over. And I wish you all a fantastic event today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome one of Ghana's leading spoken word artists, the legendary Nana Asase. A round of applause.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Good morning, sir. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Babangida together again. Did I disappoint you? Good morning. Welcome to this crossroads of dreams, this market of 9 moons where we choose to call home. Welcome to the center of the world. Welcome to this place where everybody knows the truth, yet a child is not allowed to tell it. A greeting is good enough to start this conversation. And so I salute you, revered graybeards, backs without which we have no front, tongues without which we have no song. They said the beard is the broom with which our elders gather wisdom. Our elders rinse their beards in the dew to lose the pigment of youth. But when you meet elders who taught no beards, mind you, they might have picked all of life's experiences. I still remain a child learning the ropes of the world and the ways of my people. Good morning, my elders. Good morning, my clansmen. Good morning, my kinsmen. A disclaimer says, if this performance is good, I take all the credit. If it does not go well, we share the blame. But who wants to be blamed when we're here to discuss a good matter? A good matter is short, and when it is urgent, that is what makes us abandon everything we deem important to sit. Otherwise, it becomes a debt that we all owe. Truly, we owe a debt. We owe a communal debt. Some have debts of sleep, some have debts of money, but we owe a debt of handing over a sustainable future to those who have yet to enter the thoughts of time. Ago. Fiha. There is fire on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain. Did I hear run? Is that what you were taught to do? Sorry. I choose to stand still and face it. The sea is my tenant. Let fire call its boast. I have learned that good intentions alone are not enough. Like white teeth are no guarantee against bad breath. And so, good dreams are fantastic. But you see, we need to wake up from our dreams and lend feet to them. That is the only way we are able to do very difficult things, as difficult as placing one foot in front of the other. That is how change is achieved. My people, change is the only dynamic constant. And so I cannot tell time by looking at my bead. I have to double it up with this. And so we have organic ideas. However, with the tools of technology, we can transform them. Together, organic ideas will ensure that this world thrives. But you see, our people say, when you see anything by the roadside that is beautiful, it is done with money. And so, talk might be cheap, but action is expensive. Expensive not only with the money we have stashed in votes, my people, because our commonwealth is actually all the beautiful ideas in your head and yours and yours and yours. But impact can only be backed not by screams, not by actions. Sometimes we need to dip our hands deep into those bottomless wells of counsel you choose to call money, of what you use as a king, sitting in a palanquin on the floor, throwing his hands to the left and the right and beating his chest. He's tickling himself and dancing to the fancy of his name. But when his people go on their knees and carry him on their shoulders, then the king hears the rhythms of the drums, moves his hands to the left, to the right, places them on his chest, then indeed he has a domain. I am a child. Where is my domain? This is the only place I can call home. But when we have chosen to celebrate and gather and learn how to make sure my future is sustained as a future leader, I choose not to be silent, because we need to train the future the way to go. When we are old and it is older, it knows how to treat us with some respect. My people, it's important. Even when a matter is urgent and the chase is hot, we stop to congratulate ourselves on the little wins we have made. Fidelity's dedication to the fidelity of this matter is commendable. If your left hand is yours and the right hand is yours, please, just a single clap. Would it be in order? Thank you very much for that breather, my people. And so, let us go green. Green like my feet, green like all the things the Creator left us. And let us save this space before we have burnt this home to ashes and engraved so-called our name in the ashes, forgetting that this is where earth and sea and sky meet to share gossip. I am a lonely dreamer. I'm traveling to distant homes to nurse my germinating journeys and to seed my adventures as fruit for my daring. I'll be glad one day when I beat my chest again and remember, like my brother says, there is gold on my chest. Not to be mined, it is to remind us that each exists because of the other. Let us hold each other in trust. Let us hold each other in check. Let us lend our support, ideas, money, mobilization, action, whichever you choose to add to the value chain. When all is done, we can sit, not go to the moon, wear ridiculous clothes. We can enjoy a bowl of ampesi. We can enjoy anything that you choose to call a delicacy. My people, hunger is indeed painful. But you see, we are not hungry for food. In this case, we are not hungry for money. We are not hungry for ideas. We are simply hungry for change. How will it be achieved? Very difficult. One foot in front of the other. It takes my will. It takes your will. And remember, I choose to wear black because darkness is the only backdrop against which light is seen. The dire circumstances we face is the only backdrop against which all the action we are willing to take will be seen. I am an avid consumer of statistics, of history, of trends. I am not here to bore you with any of these three. This is simply a call that says, united we stand, divided we fall. Sometimes, divided we stand, united we fall, like COVID taught us. And so, just brighten your corner. I will do my best. Do your best. I will hold you to task. You will put in some goodwill. When all of this is said and done, my people, the power belongs to us, right here on our shoulders. That is what Akufina says. When all of this is said and done, Ghana cannot fail. The world cannot fail. If anybody says otherwise, Abwa, Adinyame. I am the writer king who sips communion wine from the calabash. My people, I came to pour libation, not with water or with drink. I came to leave you things to ponder over. But I also know that in the moment of sober reflection, the cutting of a drink is good. And so I will not pour libation to the gods who might have traveled across the fence to learn from their neighbors. I choose to pour to you, to you, to you, to you, and save some for myself. For we are the ones who keep the world going round. The next generation will point their hands and their fingers at us. Whether it will be the left or the right, it is our choice. Whether it will be an insult or a greeting, even an appellation or a praise, is still our choice. And so, I extend my hand to you. Can you tell what it is? The choice is ours. Message delivered? Have I spoken well? This matter has yet to start from the beginning. I will be back when we sit to gather our harvest. Shadows will find their places on the walls. So Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Babangida together again. This matter needs our fidelity. That's it.
Wow. Please, another round of applause for Nana Asase. Nana Dia Oyinka, now a Reverend Minister. Please, put your hands together once again for him. Wow. Fidelity, believe with us. If you just tuned in to Joy FM and Joy News, this is the Fidelity Bank Sustainability Conference 2025. It's coming to you from Accra. The theme is Aligning Finance with Climate Action, a Path to Sustainable Banking. Since Dada has done the poetry, later I'll sing the Fidelity Bank song, and all of you help me sing the song. Abna, I should sing the song. Do you know the lyrics? You know the lyrics? So before your panel session, we'll sing the song together. Okay, so Fidelity has also been one of the biggest supporters of the arts, right? They've supported a lot of people in the arts. And His Excellency Kwabena, I'll sing you the Fidelity song. Maybe when you go home, you can sing it to your wife. The lyrics are nice. Okay. Now, before we move to the panel session, we are going to hear from our regulator. You cannot have any conversation about banking and finance without the regulator involved. And the BOG over the years has been very supportive of the industry. They've put together a lot of strategies to help the industry grow. And I'm happy to invite the Director Banking Supervision of the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Ismail Adam, to give his remarks from the BOG. A round of applause for him. If the applause is louder, the CD will appreciate further. We are targeting 2 to the dollar.
Yes. So let me stand on the existing protocols and say good morning to you all. So let me extend warm greetings from the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, who really wanted to be part of this discussion, but some conflicting engagements prevented him from coming. And also extend the greetings of his 2 deputies, Dr. Zachary Momeni and Mrs. Matilda Santi Asiedu. I see a lot of distinguished audience here, distinguished participants, and I'm so happy that we've come to this level of engagement as far as transitioning to green is concerned. I think the presence of all of you here highlights our shared commitment to advancing sustainable development and responsible banking practices in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme for today's conference, which is Aligning Finance with Climate Action, a Path to Sustainable Banking, touches on a subject that not only resonates deeply with contemporary discussions, but it also rapidly gaining momentum and visibility within the ever-evolving financial space. And I wish to congratulate Fidelity Bank for being intentional about their sustainability efforts. We must acknowledge that financial instruments yesterday are no longer sufficient for the challenges of tomorrow. It is therefore crucial that we move beyond legacy systems and adopt forward-looking approaches that align with a dynamic and ever-evolving financial landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, achieving this requires a unified and sustained efforts from all relevant stakeholders, united by shared purpose and working in partnership to drive meaningful and lasting progress. And I'm happy the UN Resident Coordinator is here supporting this program. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me give some highlights, some initiatives that the Bank of Ghana has taken in driving this sustainability agenda. Since the year 2015, the Bank of Ghana has undertaken a series of strategic initiatives aimed at proactively identifying, addressing, and mitigating potential risk emanating from sustainability and climate-related issues, while positioning the financial sector to harness emerging opportunities for sustainable growth. So let me give you some background. In the year 2019, the Bank of Ghana, working together with the Ghana Association of Banks and the Environmental Protection Authority, launched the Ghana Sustainable Banking Principles. And this landmark initiative provides a comprehensive framework to guide banks in effectively managing environmental and social risk, promoting sustainable green investment, and aligning financial activities with Ghana's sustainability and development objectives. At the launch of the Ghana Sustainable Banking Principles, I remember all the 23 CEOs of banks in Ghana endorsed the principles. And I'm happy to say that compliance with these principles has been on upward trajectory, and as at March 2025, the average compliance rate was about 73%, and that is remarkable. In the year 2024, a 4-year strategic plan on sustainability and climate-related risk was also developed and published, and this plan covered a period 2024 to 2028. The aim of the plan is to consolidate and strengthen our ongoing efforts to address sustainability and climate-related challenges within the banking sector. Then also in the same 2024, the Bank of Ghana issued the Climate-Related Financial Risk Directive, and this directive will take effect from 2026. This directive is intended to strengthen the capacity of financial institutions in managing climate-related financial risk, while also embedding these considerations into BOG's supervisory and regulatory frameworks. We don't want to do this alone, so we've also brought in our other sister regulators. So to ensure that coherence and alignment with other regulatory bodies in Ghana, we've initiated a series of consultative discussions aimed at development of a comprehensive sustainable finance roadmap. This initiative seeks to establish a unified framework that will guide all the financial regulators in our efforts towards financial sector's transition to sustainable banking, and also foster that collaboration among key stakeholders and ensure consistency in policies across the financial regulatory landscape. Let me end the speech by saying that today's session is a crucial step in our journey towards achieving sustainable finance in Ghana. So let's use this platform to exchange ideas, let's deepen our understanding, and let's forge partnership that will lead to a lasting progress in our financial system. I wish you all a productive and inspiring program, and may we continue to be guided by the principles of sustainability, and may we achieve meaningful impact together. May God bless us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, another round of applause for him. So I've been taking notes of the speeches. I've emceed a lot of events. And when it comes to events with bankers and people in the finance space, the speeches are always less than 5 minutes. But other events, some people can talk for 2 hours. This really shows that she can't pay the day. She can't pay the day. But what we are going to do now, I want us to take a photo. Since His Excellency is new in Ghana, you need to take a photo for your archives, right? So please join us up here. Julian, kindly join us well. And then Doc, please join them as well. And I want Nanaya to also join us. Nanaya, please join us up on the stage so we take a group photo. Something you can keep. Please come up to the stage. It's yeah. Yes. Abna, please. Nina, Marjorie, Nina, please join us well on the stage. Good. You know, the first Fidelity Sustainability Conference, you gave us seedlings. The one I planted at home is growing. The second one too, you gave us seedlings. I planted it in the farm, is growing. I need to name that place Fidelity Square, you know. But I have to pay for the branding. So, Nina, you can go to the other side. My paddy, when you wake up in the morning, you know, say the morning calling. You for work. You know I dey your side. You for dream. You for hold our hands. You for believe, oh. You know I dey your side. Fidelity. Now, I don't know to be. This is our song, Moon to be. Fidelity. If I believe with us, Fidelity. Boy, you know I dey your side. That's the song. Thank you all so much. And the next session is going to be the first panel session, which is going to be moderated by Dr. Abena Nyakwa Asumenin. Abena works with the Ghana Exim Bank, and she is moderating this particular session. The topic is the current state of sustainable banking, mobilizing private sector capital for climate action in Ghana. Mobilizing private sector capital for climate action in Ghana. Abena is going to moderate this session, And so please, let's put our hands together for Dr. Abna Nyakwa Asumenina. She comes up. Should I introduce your guest for you, or you do that yourself?
Thank you very much. Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. I don't know if you all noticed what Nanaya tried to do with the photography. That was inclusivity at work. It would have been colorless without the two other women up here. So Nanaya Aiko, thank you very much. I bring you greetings from the Ghana Exim Bank. We are a development bank focused on exports and
a larger concentration of that value stays in Europe, the Americas. Africa earns very little, and Ghana also earns very, very little. But we have a huge opportunity to grow and scale. If you look at our non-traditional exports reports by GEPA, for example, handicrafts, the creative space is gradually growing, and it's something that we must all invest in. So the bank is going to help these businesses scale and create more value for us. So please, we are ready to move. Those at the back and those having conversations, if you can have your attention, we need your attention so that we can move. So we have the music and film, we have fashion, we have crafts and design, we have digital media, we have architecture, we have publishing. Publishing is struggling. These days, the newspapers are all dying. We hardly see magazines these days, but we can still use publishing to capture a lot of our stories and also grow the conversations. Earlier, this lady, what's your name, please? You? Yeah. Sylvia talked about the NCCE. Newspapers could die, but our books cannot die. We can put a lot in the books when it comes to growing sustainability knowledge and sharing that knowledge. So that's what we are going to do this afternoon here. And we have 8 companies pitching for 450,000 Ghana cedis this afternoon. If you're happy about the amount, please put your hands together for Fidelity One. Almost 500,000 Ghana cedis. Now, we have our judges. We have Nana Kofi Esihine. He's a creative polymath. He's a filmmaker and a consultant. He's a dancer. He's trying to go into farming. It's not worked so far. We'll still help him. These days, his hobby is to drive around the city and have an app track wherever he's driving to. He has so much data. He's using it to drive around the city. Nana Kofi, good to see you. Please put your hands together for Nana Kofi Esihine. We also have Sharona Odale Mills. She's a seasoned creative marketing strategist and the lead consultant at SMC Consulting. Sharon, please give us a wave, a round of applause for her as well. We have the defending champion, because all these judges are new, but this judge has been here with us throughout. Last year she was here, and this year too, she's also here. Her Excellency, the Swiss Ambassador to Ghana. Please put your hands together for Her Excellency Simone Geiger. The last time I saw you was in Tamale. I went to see Ibrahim Mohammed's installations, and you came there. Yes, you came there. We were so excited after seeing whatever we saw. And I think when you entered and you saw the space, you were also so excited, so you walked straight past us and you went in. That was the last time I saw you. And today we are meeting on a creative platform. That's really great. The MD of Fidelity was supposed to be on this, but we've sacked him. We want him to come and present the prices. So we have a deputy MD representing on the panel. Please put your hands together for the deputy MD. So we have 4 judges, 8 companies, and each of the companies is going to have 5 minutes to pitch. And after that, the judges will have 10 minutes to ask them questions. And after the questions and answers, we will select the winners. Are you ready? Are you ready? Charlie, are you ready? Better. Good. But before we have the session, we are going to see a video from the Green Tech Challenge for you to see how it started, the processes we went through, and the impact they are making before we come to the Creative Challenge. Next year, we'll show a video of the Creative Challenge at next year's event, how it started, the processes, and the impact they are going to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a video from the Green Tech Innovation Challenge. Enjoy this. Okay, the technical team is trying to put that video together for us. Okay, technical, are you ready?
Organic waste
Good.
into animal
Thank you.
feed and fertilizer using the black soldier fly.
We are tackling the problem of smallholder farmers' vulnerability to climate risks such as drought, flood, pest and disease attacks, and the unavailability of pensions and financial inclusion of these smallholder farmers.
Hi, my name is Violet Awamwabeng, and I'm the founder and CEO of Skin Gourmet, where we make raw handmade skincare, sourced in the wilds of Ghana, and is so pure you can literally eat it.
We provide health-conscious urban dwellers with urban farming systems to grow vegetables at home in their limited space.
As a drone service, a drone company that provides various services to sectors of the African economy. One of the key sectors we provide these services is the agricultural sector.
Last year, we initiated the Green Tech Innovation Challenge, a challenge that is focused on supporting Ghana's agricultural sector. What we sought to do was to support bold solutions that will change the face of the agricultural sector. Our agricultural sector has long been flouted with issues of post-harvest losses, over-reliance on the weather. We have had problems to deal with the land tenure systems, and we said, how do we use technology to make these changes?
There was a lack of good data that farmers were able to work with for their farming activities. Also realized that there was a need for them to pivot from traditional farming methodologies to modern ones.
And when we looked around, we saw that there were young people already doing this. There were ideas and project work that were already sitting on the shelves. How do we partner these innovative young minds to transform the agriculture sector became the task.
The Green Tech Innovation Challenge provided us with a capital boost that transformed our demo farm idea onto reality. In addition, we used the funds to engage in product development that enabled us to tweak and refine our products in order to make them more market ready and consumer centric.
InnoHub Foundation had the opportunity to serve as a partner to Fidelity Bank on the GTIC project, and our role was really end-to-end, starting from admission or selection of the participants to onboarding, the training, mentoring, coaching, technical support for these participants. So we provided that detailed support to make sure the project came out successfully.
The GTIC has been very instrumental in Agricom's growth. They helped us refine our business model. Their mentorship sections also helped us a lot. They connected us with key ecosystem players, and they helped us to shape our business into a very sustainable, viable one. But we found that worthy partner in InnoHub. We set out on this journey, brought together these young, brilliant minds. And what has become of the Green Tech Innovation Challenge has been amazing.
The Green Tech Innovation Challenge helped us to expand our reach and our impact by, number one, the grant money was amazing, but also number two is the advice and support they gave us after the program. They helped us understand the best way to make the most use of the funds in a way that would impact the community, not just now, but much later. They also helped us to strengthen our supply chains by ensuring that the investment that we made would be an investment that keeps on giving and keeps on making impact.
Prior to their support, we were stuck around processing about 2 tons of waste at this facility, but now we do average about 6 tons of organic waste on a monthly basis here. We've been able to start with our electrification, where we've gotten the solar panel to actually power the mechanization of what we do. Revenue has jumped up significantly, I can say by times 20. So it's been very impactful for us.
We're based in 3 West African countries, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia. But since we did the program, we began to make inroads to countries in East Africa, like Tanzania.
On revenues, you had about over 30 million cedis generated by the company supported in the first cohort. These businesses also created about 49 jobs raised an extra 597,000 in funding for the businesses, and to this a really big success, especially the job creation component.
We yearn to serve over 200,000 smallholder farmers in the span of 3 to 5 years, help these farmers unlock access to finance and also protect them so that no smallholder farmer alone suffers because of just one bad weather.
What AgriMecab actually wants to be is to be a company that creates net zero organic waste communities, and we want to do this one community at a time.
In 5 years, we aim to be Africa's leading producer of sustainable urban agricultural solutions and facilitating the transformation of urban deserts into thriving ecosystems.
We've seen that lives are being transformed, post-harvest losses are being dealt with, climate-smart, resilient agriculture is being practiced, and as we move forward, we know that the impact and the change will be innumerable.
A partnership like a very strong Fidelity Bank and an amazing hub is one of the key things that you need to drive the ecosystem. I believe and really anticipate that cohort 2 is going to bring
I believe Fidelity deserves another round of applause. Impactful investment. The AgriMecab people, they came to my farm to help me set up a black soldier fly production unit. So at least if Fidelity is not giving me money in the green tech innovation, I'm getting knowledge and knowledge transfer from their owners, and that is good. And I think that if there is any other bank or financial institution here, you need to learn from Fidelity and what they are doing. My shoe is from Giddens Limited. It's a business funded by Fidelity in the orange corners. He makes my belt. He makes my bag. Cosmetics. We smuggle about 50 million Ghana cedis worth of cosmetics into the country every year, and import about 160 million Ghana cedis worth of cosmetics, but we sit on share, we sit on coconut oil. If we push the businesses, they'll do better. And there are a lot of businesses in the cosmetic space that Fidelity has helped to scale. These days, I go to the Melcoms and I go to the Palaces, and I see them and I'm happy. And maybe, Nana, if your farming dream will not work, talk to Farmitecture and just convert your backyard into an urban farm. How about that? I'll give you a grant of 100 cedis. So it's time for this year's challenge, the creative challenge. And as I said earlier, we have Her Excellency the Swiss Ambassador on the panel of judges. Sharon, now Odali Mills is also on the panel. We have Nana Kofi Esiene on the panel. And we have Mr. Kwabena Boateng, DMD of Fidelity Bank, also on the panel. So, Your Excellency, he's your namesake. He's also born on Tuesday. He's Kwabena. And since you've accepted to be called Kwabena, when you finish, just register with his family, and they'll give you some family land and make you Ghanaian properly. Okay? Yes. So, earlier I said that the businesses will have 5 minutes to pitch, but it's going to be 3 minutes. 3 minutes to pitch and 10 minutes by the judges. Oh, the judges think that 3 minutes is too small. Okay, we'll make it 3 minutes, 30 seconds to pitch, and then they will have 10 minutes to answer questions by the judges. So, contestants, are you ready? Are you ready? Businesses, are you ready? Creatives, are you ready? I'm not hearing their voices. Okay. Now, when you begin your presentation, when you have just about 60 seconds left, we will play, the technical team will play a sound effect. That should prompt you that you have only 60 seconds left. So once you hear that, you should be wrapping up. I know this is tight, but we believe in you. Fidelity believe in you, and we know that all of you are going to be successful. So the first business coming, ladies and gentlemen, help me with a round of applause to motivate and give her a lot of vim to come up here and deliver. Help me with a round of applause to invite Love Ankara to the stage.
Is this on? Good morning, or is it good afternoon? Good morning. So I come bearing gifts for my judges, please. Temporary gifts. My name is Emma Mami Fuatando, and I'm the founder and CEO of Love Ankara. This is my story. On July 1st, 2014, when a cross-section of Ghanaians were preparing to occupy Flagstaff House, I, unfortunately, on the other hand, was preparing to occupy a hospital bed at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra. I spent 6 months in a leg cast. The doctors said I had just received a patellar subluxation. In layman's terms, my kneecap fell off. I spent 6 agonizing months in a lot of pain, but that became a pivotal point for launching my business, Love Ankara. Over 60% of Africans' working class women cannot find shoes that combine comfort, safety, and cultural heritage. Over 43% of them are also receiving falls, posture, and health issues because they consistently wear uncomfortable shoes to work on a daily basis. This presented a clear opportunity for us. I had to do something about it. In February 2017, I launched Love Ankara. Our solution was foldable, anti-slip, machine-washable, Afrocentric shoes made for the African woman who was constantly on the go, chasing her dreams and living her life on a daily basis. Our shoes combine cultural identity, safety, and function. Our market is huge. Please go back to the previous slide. Our market is huge. So there are over 50 million working class African women on the continent. Given our $30 to $45 price point, that is easily a $120 million opportunity. Add the diaspora's 200 million people within the global market, and this opportunity begins to scale. How does our business work? We work with textile industries, predominantly in Ghana, and we source waste fabric that would otherwise land in landfills and convert them to the shoes that you see in front of you. We make the shoes at an average cost of $10, and we sell between $30 and $45. This easily gives us a gross margin of between 50 and 60%. We sell directly through our Instagram and our WhatsApp channels, and we are happy to say that we have over 85% repeat purchase for our shoes. On the average, women buy at least 3 pairs of shoes on their first time. Is there anyone else doing this? This is where it gets really interesting. Yes, there are other full foldable shoe brands on the market, like Teeks. You can go ahead and Google them. However, they're not doing what we're doing. They are not making Afrocentric shoes with the same function, safety standards that we are putting in our soles. We've done this for 8 years, and over the last 6 years, for just our foldable shoes, we've sold over 3,000 pairs. We average 85% purchase rates, and we are predominantly getting our sales through Instagram and WhatsApp only. This shows a low user acquisition cost. Today, we are here asking for 150,000 CDs. Where is this money going to go? 40% is going to be allocated to much needed production, 35% to marketing and e-commerce. We are here saying that we've proven demand. We've done the work. This is not an experiment. We are here asking you to partner with us so that we can move this business from a beloved niche brand to allows women not to choose between safety, function, or cultural identity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm a big fan of shoes. I've also been told by my physiotherapist that I have to wear more comfy shoes. So I really see that there's a market niche for that. And I also like the African prints. I was actually wondering whether, the price point, you said it's like $30 to $45. Seems to me to be rather high. So my question would be, is there anything you can do about that?
So when we started our market, we didn't decide on our audience. So over the last 8 years, we've tested different pricing points. So currently, it is a niche brand, but at the $30 to $45 price range, we do have people who keep on coming back. And even our resellers who started with us in 2022 order at least twice every year. However, we do know that the Gen Zs are very interested in this market. So we are developing a price point that is slightly lower, but attainable, that makes the shoes accessible.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Welcome.
Well done.
Thank you.
And congrats for coming up with this.
Thank you.
My concern has to do with the sole.
Yes.
Is it biodegradable?
So predominantly 60% of the materials that we are using, so the shoes that you have currently, the red ones, they're the same ones I'm wearing, they're made from recycled fabric leather. So this is fabric leather. The bottom is also recycled from car tires, and we add the anti-slip element to it to make it safe. So yes, it is, to answer your question.
Thank you.
Okay, hi. Maybe two questions, maybe one.
That's fine.
But, sorry. What does expansion in production mean for you? Like, as in, I want to know what expansion in production means for you. And also, in terms of manufacturing, apart from solving the problem of waste not ending up in landfills and you recycling them, human resource, what's the human resource you use and how does this business benefit them? Okay.
So in terms of production, your first question, currently we are doing an average of 120 pairs. That is our barest minimum. We've intentionally kept it small because we need to ensure defensibility. We are in the process of acquiring an IP, a trademark for our brand, as well as industrial design protection. But we want to move to a point where we are doing, on average, between 200 to 300 pairs of shoes. That easily translates into in excess of 150,000 CDs every month, which we can easily do. In terms of your second question, the human capital. So our two head artisans have a combined shoemaking experience of over 40 years. Our workshop is based in Idun, Kumasi, and we are very intentional about the people that we work with. Most of our artisans have stayed with us over the last 5.5 years. I'm proud to say that. And we know that this industry, the textile industry, for one, employs over 5 million people. Our corporate souls program that we are going to launch in November, we are actively and intentionally deciding to work with 5,000 TVET graduates from the polytechnics because it's important that we affect every single person within the value chain. So we're going to work with these TVET and polytechnic graduates for us to reach our SDG goals. Because we are targeting 100 businesses with... Thank you.
Mami, your time is up. Thank you. A round of applause for Mami. So I mentioned that the businesses will have 3 minutes, but actually it should be 5 minutes. So if you notice, Mami had a lot of time to finish her presentation because it's 5 minutes. Please put your hands together for Mami once again. Now the next business is ready, and please, as we did for Mami, let's do the same for all games.
Hello, everyone. So I grew up in Ashalibuche. Ashalibuche is a rural area in Ghana. And I remember growing up with a good friend of mine called Kukwa. Now, Kukwa and I had dreams of becoming medical doctors, actually, or a very prosperous field in the science department. But sadly enough, there weren't. Right. Thank you. Next. Awesome. But sadly enough, there weren't enough science tools and equipment to keep our dreams going. So we go to a classroom and all we see are chalkboards with drawings. This broke our hearts. Eventually, today, I am not a doctor, unfortunately, but I grew up with my team to find a solution to this problem. And today I present to you Simulab. Simulab is an offline virtual gamified platform for Ghanaian children, specifically primary students. This focuses on the Ghanaian syllabus. It's offline, it's gamified, it's low, and it's very affordable. We have a very large playground or playing field, which I like to call it. That's our market size, with about 22,289 plus schools currently in Ghana that the national platform tells us about. We have, that's our SOM, our serviceable obtainable market. This gives us about 4.7 million plus students as our SOM as well. Now, mind you, Simulab is as low as 55 Ghana cedis per student in a semester. This places our projection revenue at 250,000 plus per year. Now, these are not just figures, though. This is based on a pattern from EdTech solutions currently used in Ghana. That's on your phone, my phone. We have a few all around. Next slide. All right, now how do we keep our game running? This is very simple. Parents subscribe for kids at home to learn from the comfort of their home. Schools purchase their licenses for students as well. As I mentioned, this is as low as 55 cedis per term or per semester for each child using Simulab. Right. Now, Simulab offers you a chance not to even consider employing or opting for software from outside. Mind you, these softwares, they are very expensive. They rely solely on the internet. And they do not focus on the Ghanaian syllabus like we do. We teach you everything Ghanaian, how our syllabus is structured, and we've been focused on green energy projects as well. Next. We've unlocked so many of our MVPs currently at 70% complete. We've completed 2 main alpha tests where we collaborated with the African Union, who supported us with a fund. We've also been backed by the UNICEF Startup Lab as well. And with our 2 alpha tests, we had a retention rate of 78%. We've gotten positive feedback from students, teachers, and potential customers as well as the Ghana Education Service. Next. We are seeking 250,000 cedis from you to assist us to complete our software, to build it up, to impact the 4.7 million plus primary students here in Ghana. We know you want this to happen, so we ask you to stand with us as to make this happen. We've been able to raise 31,500 Ghana cedis. That's translating a sum of both funding from MES and African Union and Ghana cedis. And we ask you that this is not just the beginning. MES, African Union was able to experience the impact of our software and how much revenue it had potential of generating, or it has potential of generating. Next. This is my team. My name is Oscar Blessing. I am a co-founder and communications specialist for All Games. We have a combination of chemists, financial experts, a visual artist, and a research explorer. Thank you, and we hope you come with us on this beautiful journey to inspire the 5.7 million students here in Ghana and Africa as well. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Who goes first? Nana? Oh. Who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay.
Hi. Hello. So how are the devices going to get into their hands?
Right. Thank you for your question. So we are making Simulab available on tablets, phones, devices. We send it to organizations. Organizations pay for the software, and give it to these kids to learn. Now, we did our alpha test in an underdeveloped area, specifically of Fuase, somewhere in Kumase, where the school, unfortunately, did not have enough science labs or enough equipment like computers. This is a particular problem we are facing. So what we did was we installed the alpha phase of our software onto a computer, and these kids all gathered around it. But that is the strategy we are using. So a school employs it on. Now, mind you, if you're a parent and you want a child to also experience it at home, then there you opt for the parent's license or subscription. There you can take it from home. We put it on App Store, Google Play, or whichever platform you prefer. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know if mine is a question or statement, but for an application that's visually driven, and knowing how kids are nowadays and how things have to catch your attention, I was hoping that you show us how the interface looks like.
Right.
Because right now, if I have $2 million to give you, I'll probably put it in my back pocket because I don't know how it looks like.
Right.
So I think maybe that's something you should have shown us. Yeah.
Because
Because from that, we would have asked you more questions,
Right, that's true. So we brought our alpha test along with us. Shan.
Okay.
Yes, please.
If it's here, you can bring it so the judges can see it now or later before they conclude their evaluation.
Quick question. What's the size of the application?
Currently, since we've not exported it, but the alpha test was as low as 2.4 megabytes.
2.4 megabytes.
Exactly, and it's offline, mind you.
Offline, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So what you are looking at is an alpha phase test. And this is now our current MVP, which will be exporting or placing out there in exactly a month from now, is what we will make more pilot tests with. So what you are looking at is an alpha. This is what we did with African Union a few weeks ago. Thank you.
That was one thing that's crossed my mind on how it really looked like. But the other question has to do with Atofuase. I do believe that is not the type of place like Accra. So how were you able to do it whereby they understand where to go to on their phones and the tablets? Because I'm sure you're not just looking at the high-end parts of this country, but kids who are also in the low end. So how are you going to be able to get this to those low of the lowest?
Okay. So thank you for this question. So this was a discussion we are having with GES. And we got a rep from GES who advised us based on the current syllabus of Ghana and how, even though it has complex languages or concepts, it's introduced to children in that class as you mentioned. So first off, the interface is very simple. Even with the alpha test, it's very simple. It's interactive. We, however, with the current MVP at 70%, are embedding a local format where just suppose these kids have struggled to start with the English language, they can use the local language and advance into English as it goes on, just like the Duolingo model gives us. Yeah.
Well, your time is up. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. Nana, you had a follow-up question? It's fine? Okay. But people, when he said Ashalawote is a rural area, why were you people... 20 years ago or 30 years ago, Airport City was bush. It was a rural area. We've still not reconfigured Ashalawote. Do you have tarred roads in your neighborhoods? Does your water flow all the time? Ashalawote people, stop that. Me too, I used to live there. It is a rural area, we agree. But please update it. Now the rural area is Amrahia, NOUB. Yes, that's where I live now. Anyway, we are going to go to the next presenter. Are you ready for the next presenter? Next presenter, are you ready? Please show Fashion Excel some love as she comes up to present.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rukaya Halidu, Creative Director for Rookie Atelier and Fashion Excel. Rookie Atelier is an Afrocentric and a sustainable brand, and Fashion Excel is the in-house fabric training. Well, let's imagine this scenario. You are busily walking in the market, and from afar, you can see someone approaching in the most beautiful African-inspired outfit. They get close, and you realize this is the most synthetic fabric you have ever seen. This is the most synthetic fabric you have ever seen. This probably is going to end up in the landfill somewhere. And what kills the vibe is there is this local artisan in his workshop busy cooking his next cultural-inspired batik fabric. At the same time, our trainees in Fashion Excel are also doing the same, producing batik fabrics that's in an eco-friendly manner. So, yeah. Previous slide. Yeah. So, the gap is we are building the future of ethical luxury by merging verifiable heritage with artisan training. Our motive is every garment we make should preserve our planet and empower our people. Yes. Yeah. Is this really scalable? Google Trends shows that the global demand for Afrocentric products has grown by 200% since 2020. And also from World Bank, Africa has the world's youngest population with 60 million youth needing employable skills by 2030. We have a purpose to not just make clothes, but also environmental healing and self-replicating system. Fashion Excel creates that cycle to train and empower the locals and empower whilst they also pass it down to the next generation. And our business model currently is we generate income through direct-to-consumer bespoke tailoring. And we also have Fashion Excel now, which produces eco-friendly fabrics and offer training for designers and seamstresses. These two works good together because we have our own in-house fabric making, and also we nurture the next generation of sustainable designers to also pass it down to others. Well, do we have a competition? We've aced from our competitors because by offering the complete package, high sustainability and high cultural authenticity, which go fast from what our competitors are doing. These are high fashion brands in the world, and when you see where Rookie Atelier and Fashion Excel is now, we blend the two together and we are far ahead in so doing. And our traction, in 2 years, Rookie Atelier has transformed a grant into a multifaceted story by demonstrating a remarkable financial discipline strategy, growth, and international recognition. We won Vlisco Fashion Fund in 2022, and the fund was $2,000. We had to invest half of the money in Rookie Atelier, and the other half, we decided to start building our own workshop from scratch. So we started building Fashion Excel, and it's in the eastern region in Koko, because we want to serve the locals. They don't have to travel to Accra to gain these opportunities. This is where we are now. In 2 years, we have our rent-free space that can also accommodate about 20 trainees and designers. And also, Vlisco really hyped us in 2022. We met premium diasporan clients, and we believe that our next fashion show in Paris will definitely be mentioning Fidelity Bank for getting us there. And our ask is, with 150,000 grants, this means that we'll double us in production, and we can run and launch our own websites and sell directly to consumers. We can make fabrics in bulk and supply to other fashion houses. And we'll also be ahead of our competitors because we'll have our own in-house fabric production, and which is going to reduce cost of fabrics as well. our financial. Sorry.
Your time is up, so we'll go to the judges.
Hello.
Hello.
When you say you make your own fabrics, can you elaborate on that? I want to know whether you print, whether you do batik. Can you give us a bit more detail?
Yeah, we make our own fabrics and eco-friendly because this is what I'm wearing. It's made from turmeric and indigo, which is environmentally very safe. So we make our own batik fabrics in an eco-friendly way. You
mean the dye?
We dye.
Okay, so then you source, say, plain cotton fabrics. And then so this, did you make this?
This fabric was not made.
But the one you have, you made.
Yeah, I made with turmeric and indigo dye.
Okay, cool. Also, the training you offer people, I want to know what specific training do you give them, and what's the impact on their lives and say the society or the area.
So the training is batik training, and also we have a little bit of sewing techniques we teach them because we are training them so that we can capture and work with them in our society. So we train them in sustainable fashion. When you even come to our workshop, there's little scrap of fabric is not thrown away. We recycle that. We make pillows with them. So we train them so that at the end of the day, when they also graduate, they can also impact others what they learned from our training.
Last question. The turmeric thing you're talking about, is that like your proprietary thing you do?
No, the turmeric, so eco-friendly, we use eco-friendly colors. It depends on what you want. You can even use beetroot to dye if only that's the color you want. But we use different things.
Okay. So that means you source the raw materials and you do...
Definitely.
That is where I think your thing is, but you... So...
Thank you very much. I think it's very, very beautiful designs. And my question was also related really to the sustainability. If you can explain to us a bit more, how you're really intentional about sustainability and how you're trying to reduce waste and just your entire business model around sustainability. Thank you.
Okay, when I started my page, I made a scenario whereby you see someone wearing something very nice, but the fabric is synthetic. But wearing this is going to be hard for you to throw away. You are preserving your culture, you are preserving your identity. So this, what I'm wearing, would barely end up in the landfills. I can actually pass this down to my children and to the next generation, which means we don't just make clothes, we preserve our culture and we sustain the environment as well.
You made mention of the marginalized. What group of people are those? So, you're not clear on that.
Yeah. Okay, so what really inspired the marginalized is I had this childhood friend, she's autistic, and when we completed junior high, she finds it very difficult to actually get something to do. So she's autistic, and I realized, okay, if I help her, she can channel her talent because she would definitely want to empower herself. So I realized she's very good. So we train her in batik making, and we want to also bring other people on board. There could be people who are differently abled, but they can actually do something.
Our time is up.
Yeah.
Our time is up. Thank you very much. A round of applause for her. Is Efriye here? Efriye, please, can you come forward? Yeah, please come to me. Efriye. Yeah, Efriye, please come. So the next business, get ready. You also have 8 minutes. Efriye, please come. No, 5 minutes for the page, 3 minutes for the judges. Efriye, please come. I'm coming to say something Julian will be happy with. Yes. In the month of March, when we say it's the Ghana month and you go to the banks, the tellers are wearing African print, everybody, MDs, everybody. Sometimes you move around to Accra, right? And it's beautiful, is it not? Look at the free. Is she not looking beautiful? What if we change our dressing policy in some of these banks, in our banks, all the banks, and GIPC and Prof. Bobkin School and all of us, and threw away the suits and wore more of these, right? Then it means we're expanding the markets for them. Because if I want to assume that the average person at Fidelity, because Fidelity pays, gets about minimum assumption, I could be very wrong, minimum 10,000 cedis clothing allowance a month. So if the bank has 1,000 people, a year. When I said a month, I say a year. So if the bank employs 1,000 people, that's easily 10 million Ghana cedis. If 20%, and the bank too is now 50-50, it's like 50% women, 50% men. Let's say the men there, they will buy my things home. So they'll go to Giddens. But if 20% will buy from these businesses, right, then it's business, right? And even with the clothing allowance, let's just say each staff should go to Giddens to select 5 shoes for the year. So we are not going to give you the money. Then Giddens is producing like 1,000 times 5,000 pairs of shoes in the year. Direct money. I'm just saying, this is SDG 17, partnerships for growth. So the bank is partnering with the businesses for growth. Is it not so? So should we give Fidelity a round of applause as they attempt to do it this year and next year? Because we love Efriye. We love what Efriye is wearing. So this one there is direct giddy. Wait, my fan chain. Julian, I'm sorry. Now we are going to invite the next business to pitch. And so please, let's help welcome Dobison VR.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. I'm Selassie Awiti, and I'm the founder of Dobison, and today I'm going to tell you how we are using Experience Africa to make travel and culture sustainable, borderless, and accessible. Next slide. So, we all know that there are millions of people who come to Africa to experience its rich culture and heritage. But the truth is that there are billions more who would never be able to set foot on the continent. And this is because travel to and within Africa is expensive, inaccessible, and fragile. And when we talk about the fragility of travel, we think about the COVID-19 pandemic where the borders were shut down and no one could travel or access culture, right? And this affects millions across different industries, especially 170 million people in the diaspora. And we realize that cultural institutions do not have the tools to correctly digitize and monetize their assets for a global audience. Next slide. So that is why we are building Experience Africa. We want to make African culture and travel borderless by digitizing and using virtual reality. So we are digitizing festivals, destinations, and experiences, making them explorable from anywhere in the world using any device, from virtual reality devices to smartphones to computers. And previous slide. And with the market estimated to be worth $200 billion in 2030, this represents new revenue streams for cultural institutions. Next slide. So the question is, why virtual reality? Ladies and gentlemen, as you sit here, you are able to look around and hear the sounds around you. And this phenomenon is what we call presence. And virtual reality is the only medium that can give you that experience that photos and pictures can absolutely not. Next slide. So we've proven demand and we've gotten great traction from different businesses. We were awarded 54,000 euros from the French Development Agency to build this. And we are currently Ghana's leading virtual reality company, working with the leading brands across different industries. For Experience Africa, we have partners like Ghana Tourism Authority, the Benin Cultural Agency, the Netherlands Embassy, and Redbox VR, which are the leading VR kit distributors across the world. And of course, we've digitized over 100 sites across Ghana and Benin, including the leading ones like the Kakum National Park, Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, and others. And we are launching at the Festac Africa next month, and also in Alliance Francaise Accra and in Wadada, Benin. Next slide. So our journey has been built over a number of years, and we are still continuing this journey. Our first step was focused on capturing digital sites, on capturing sites across Ghana and Benin, and want to expand this to 15 other countries. After, we want to scale this to the diaspora using mobile subscriptions, partnerships, and cultural e-commerce. And finally, in 4 years, we want to be the leading providers of African immersive cultural experiences. Next slide. So our business model is digital first, scalable, and has multiple revenue streams. And of course, it delivers high margins, from subscriptions to licensing to sponsorships and brand partnerships and e-commerce. This represents new revenue streams for institutions via ticketing, licensing, and, like I mentioned, e-commerce. The next slide. So we started Experience Africa with 1 million Ghana cedis. And we've done all of this. And now we are raising $1 million to expand to 15 countries, which will help us grow our content by 5 times and grow revenue by 10 times within the next 2 years, while working with our partners, the cultural institutions, to generate revenue for their assets. And the spend is going to be distributed across marketing, scaling, the content, and e-commerce. And of course, the funding we get from Fidelity will be pumped into building our experience centers. Next slide. So we've built an amazing team with over 30 years combined experience in storytelling and XR, and we are trusted by the leading brands in Ghana and across West Africa as well. Next slide. And that is the end of our presentation. I hope that you join us to build a future where African travel and culture is borderless, sustainable, and accessible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Judges, Nana?
Yeah, thank you. So, a few questions. When you say digitize, do you mean you capture what is there, but then you make people experience it in virtual reality?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Now, my other thing too is, question, don't you think that your business is actually hindering people from coming into the country to experience these cultural sites? Don't you think it's blocking instead of aiding? Question.
Yes, so it's a very valid question, and we've worked with our partners like GTA and ADAC to address these concerns. With our engagements, what we realize is that extra content does not stop people, it actually encourages them, right? So on one hand, we are building the platform to help our partners get people to access these sites. Now, secondly, of course, like I mentioned, there are billions who cannot visit here. And these are people that they can actually monetize and get money from, but because they cannot, their cultural institutions are not being able to monetize them. So on the other hand, we also get this content so that people who cannot make it can actually get that full experience and pay the amount or close to the amount that they would have paid when they came to these sites. So it, one, helps people who cannot actually access, and for those who might think about it, it's a marketing tool for them to actually make their decision and come across.
So who's your primary target, the businesses and the cultural institutions, or the individuals?
So our first target is the businesses and institutions that we partner with, of course, and we work with them to make the content to target the end consumers.
Okay. So from a creative standpoint, virtual reality it's evolving, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you're doing that, you're putting yourself in this really big pool, right? And there's almost like a quality level that is expected at that level.
Yeah.
How are you ensuring that your quality of design, your development, the way you're coding, all these things that are happening, how do I make sure that looking at that, I don't feel like I've knocked myself down 10 steps when I leave the meta universe and I come to yours?
Okay, so you do not actually leave the metaverse, right? It is accessible within the metaverse. Right, so on the platforms like Meta's App Store, you can access this app as well. It's going to be available at experience centers, and people can also download them onto their own VR headsets. Now, it's not only locked to VR headsets, of course, it's also accessible across smartphones and computers. And lastly, with regards to your question about quality, we have the experience to provide solutions for leading brands in Ghana and across West Africa. And our experience shows that we can actually deliver this. And our team is constantly learning and training and being updated on the latest trends in virtual reality to ensure that we are never below quality levels. One thing I would like to add is that We made sure in building this project that in capturing the content, we capture with the highest level resolution camera. So it is future-proof in that sense already.
Okay. Let's.
In the shadows of our communities, a silent killer lurks. Opioid addiction is ravaging the lives of Ghanaia's youth, leaving families shattered and futures uncertain. Join us on JoyNews for a special national dialogue, Breaking the Chains, Ghana's opioid crisis, as we confront this epidemic head-on. A panel of experts, including Dr. Eugene Dodoye, a leading addiction specialist, Dr. Badget Nuro Penin, a law enforcer and psychiatrist, Walter Damien, recovering from addiction, and George Oporiado, Minister of Youth Development and Empowerment, will dive into the root causes, the devastating consequences, and most importantly, the solutions to Ghana's opioid crisis. Don't miss Breaking the Chains, Ghana's opioid crisis. This Thursday, the 28th of August 2025 at 6 p.m. live on JoyNews. It's time to break the chains. It's time for change.
Usually people go to the hospital with hunger, but they think it's malaria, they think, so you need to add that. Anyway, now the next business, I love their name. We always say Accra Stay by Plan, yeah? Yes, that's the name of the next business, but it doesn't have Accra. It says Stay by Plan, so wherever you go, you stay by plan. Let's welcome, with a round of applause, Stay by Plan. And please, before Stay by Plan presents, if you are the owner of the vehicle with registration GR143517, it's a RAV4, GR143517, please get to your car. We need your help. Thank you so much. Now, Stay by Plan, you can begin.
All right, thank you very much. So, good afternoon. My name is Zug Bedema, and today I'm talking to you about SBP Media, which is a podcast production company in Accra. So something people always tell me is that, oh, there's no money in, the business of storytelling in Ghana. It's a lie. I'll show you today. So this year, by the end of this year, we're expecting over $25 million in revenue in the music, podcast, and radio sector in Ghana. And by 2030, we're expecting over 600,000 podcast listeners in the country. One such listener is Prince. 3 years ago, we received an email from Prince. He was struck by a serious sickle cell crisis and he was bedridden. He lost mobility in his legs and he was stuck in bed. But while he was in bed, at 19 years old, a very difficult time for him, he decided to go through his favorite podcast, Stay by Plan, and came across an episode about sickle cell in Ghana. And he felt represented, he felt motivated. Today, Prince is a content creator, a poet, and a photographer, and he's thriving. He works at Joy FM. I think he's watching now. Hi, Prince, wherever you are. So, if you ask him, he'll tell you that episode changed his life. So Prince is not alone. His story is powerful, but he's not alone. There's millions of people across Ghana and Africa who have the same problem. Our stories are underrepresented, they're limited, they're fragmented, and we are left feeling unseen, unheard, and isolated. And that's what we are trying to do here at SBP Media. We want to solve this problem. We use humor, relatability, and authenticity to merge culture, community, and brand storytelling through podcasts and events. We do that through our SBP podcast network. Currently, we have 2 shows, Stay by Plan, our flagship show, and the Sulia show, which is a football show. We've gathered over 25 million interactions. We've told over 200 stories. We have an audience of over 90,000 young African people, and we have over 40 partner brands, including
Telecel, TikTok, Nivea, UNICEF, the EU, and please, MD, we want to see Fidelity Bank join that list. Okay, thank you very much. So, people ask me, how do podcasts make money? Today I'll explain to you. What we do is we generate content, we move that content towards our community that's very engaged. We then allow brands to tap into that community. Now, it's for a fee, nothing is free. We then put that money back into content, and then the cycle continues. As Stay by Plan, we call this the circle of life. If you don't remember anything I taught today, please remember this. It's very important. Now, that's our primary revenue model. We also make money from YouTube monetization, influencer partnerships, and merchandise. And we're looking to hit over 100,000 CDs in revenue by the end of the year. We want to keep our costs lean. In 2026, we want to expand our market and continue to grow our revenue. In 2027, we want to move into new formats, content formats, because we want to stay competitive in the market. And we've identified 4 main competitors across the continent. APN from South Africa, Aircon Digital from Nigeria, and GCR and KSS from Ghana. We want to be number 1. This is how we do it. So, like I said, we have various revenue models. We also have a strong, loyal community. We have a scalable model. We have long-term brand partnerships. And we have an operational team. Our team is very small, but strong. My co-founder, Afi Chega, she has over 6 years in the business. She's worked with big brands like Nivea and Gucci. Myself, over 8 years in the business. I've worked at Joy FM, worked with CeraVe and La Roche-Posay. UGJC, graphic designer, very talented. Over 5 years of experience in the business, worked with DSTV. And Etona Mahiato, over 7 years of experience. She's worked with Volkswagen and many more. We also have 4 capable interns who help us from day to day. But we want to double our production capacity because we believe if we do that, by 2027, we'll be hitting 250,000 CDs in revenue. I'll say it again. If we double our production capacity, we'll be hitting over 250,000 CDs in revenue by 2027. So, this is how we can do it. With your help, with a 150,000 CD grant, 33% straight into our studio space setup, 30% into production equipment, 20% into team hiring. The last 17% is spread across contingency, operations, and marketing. So let's bring it back to Prince. Prince had a story. He heard a story. He felt seen. There are many others like Prince, and we are telling their stories because we feel and believe there's a market for African stories, and we are building the hub that connects them to the world. Thank you.
Hi. I like your hair.
Thank you so much.
So Prince probably lives in Accra.
He does.
Okay. How about Isif, who lives in Tamale, who may not have so much education, but also has a story to tell or needs stories to reach out to him? Mm-hmm. What are you doing to reach out to? I mean, pardon my data, the 80% of people who are not like us, Gen Z buyers, pop culture buyers, yes. The other people on the other side. What is your outfit going to do to reach out to those people? Because if you have a message, and they're also young people, they need to hear the message.
I mean, so for us, there are other things that people tend to go through. We have sickle cell, we have mental health issues. The trend is that people can relate. Once Prince didn't know the lady we're talking about in the episode, we told her story, but he related to it. There might be stories out there in Tamale. We're actually planning to start traveling, going out there more. We've done that a couple times this year. But what we are trying to do at the moment, because of limited resources, is tell the stories around us and make them relatable, because one thing that we try to do is make them relatable and culturally relevant. And so people who are in Tamale, wherever, once they hear the story and it's relatable, they can relate to it and they can understand what's going on.
All right, so what's your content strategy? Like, okay, so you've talked about Prince Head, about sickle cell. What determines what topics you come up with, and when you do that, what is that process like? Are you doing research? Are you getting people to contribute, or you're getting a guest who speaks about it?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends. Every story is different. So it depends on what we are talking about. We often have events where we talk to people in our community. We ask them, what do you want to hear from us? Who do you want us to talk to? And we've fortunately gotten to a point where we've gotten enough traction that most people that we call to come and talk are ready to talk to us. So it really depends on what we want to talk about. For example, in October, we're looking to talk about breast cancer awareness because that's Breast Cancer Month. And so last year, we spoke to a survivor who had a double mastectomy. This year, we're talking to someone who's created a foundation called Save the Boobies because she wants to get the awareness out there. So it really depends on the time of the year, the topic that's, at hand and everything. So we always try and find people to talk to.
So if I wanted to say, I met Stay by Plan.
Right.
They are a podcast that talks about, what do you talk about?
Society and culture.
Society and culture, okay,
Yes.
great.
Thank you. So I'm a very big fan of podcasts, and I think it's really a great idea. However, I also know it's always very difficult, even for the biggest podcasters in the world to raise enough money. So I haven't really understood, how you're going to scale this and make it really something that also generates financial income at the end of the day.
Okay, so like I said earlier, I showed you guys the main model of how we create revenue. Currently for us, we have too many people asking to work with us. The demand is more than what we can do. And so, yes, thank you, please. Yes, thank you very much. So, people are trying to get in. Can we go to the next slide, actually? Yes, so people are trying to get into our model. They want to pay us and they want to feature on the podcast, but we don't have enough. So what we are trying to do is create more shows, create more demand, and then we go from there. So a lot of people want to get in, but right now we don't have space for them. So we are trying to create more shows. And with more revenue, more funding, we can do that. So that's what we're trying. We want to expand. Yeah.
Okay.
But trying to create more shows, I think that, like what Sharon said, if you have a plan as per what's your target market, because podcasts, I'm very sure that some parts of this country, some people do not even know what it is, but they do have a story to tell.
Yeah.
So is there any other way apart from just using the podcasts to...
Yeah, so like I said, we also do events. So if you really want to get people on the ground, we do events. But for us, we are focusing on podcasts. It's a new market in Ghana, but we've seen in other countries like Nigeria, it's growing. And we know that we tend to kind of lag behind Nigeria in some of these things. So once we are seeing the growth in Nigeria, people in Nigeria are trying to come here as well. People are starting podcasts from Nigeria here as well. It's growing. People have smartphones. People are able to listen to podcasts everywhere. Now everybody has a smartphone, or almost everybody has a smartphone. We can't cater to everybody, but we believe that we can cater to most people who want to hear their stories.
Thank you.
You took that into consideration in your financial model, right?
Yes, we've considered that, yes.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Stay by Plan. We have 3 more to go. And the next person, are you ready? Well done. Please put your hands together for him once again. I can see Mr. Carl Lampa from UNESCO here. Carl, please give us a wave. Let's give you a hand. So this man sends us, for the past 8 years, every month he will send you an email from UNESCO telling you the new things happening within the space, arts culture around the world, promoting Ghanaian arts and culture, creative industry. Carl, thank you so much for the work you do for the space. Please, another round of applause for Carl. Now the next business, ladies and gentlemen, is Abrita. Let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rita Adi, founder and creative director of Abrita Holdings, a multidisciplinary design company that specializes in graphics, fashion, and interior design. Today, I'll be pitching on our fashion business, so this whole pitch has 80% focus on that. In today's world, many fashion brands overlook the importance of inclusivity, leaving 80% of busy career women with ill-fitting clothes and uninspired basics. This is because most fashion brands use inconsistent sizing charts, which was created decades ago and not made for our body types. And this leaves many women feeling frustrated. At Abrita Holdings, we have solved that by creating our all-size inclusive charts, which we made with you in mind, so your clothes fit perfectly. And we've also created a community which empowers, celebrates, and reflects true Ghanaian heritage and cultural value. Our global standard quality control has propelled us to tap into the global luxury market, which is worth $1.7 billion, and we want to have a piece of that cake. So we're doing our best to get there. Moreover, it's not crowded, but it gives really high profit margins. We operate in 4 different yet interconnected categories to generate multiple streams of income for our business. So our core, graphic design, interior design, and skills training generates 27,000 cedis monthly. And our fashion business generates between 15,000 to 30,000 cedis monthly. We are able to achieve that with our strategic positioning on social media, e-commerce platforms, pop-up markets, customer referrals, and our export agencies. So we thrive where our competition falls short, because we recently launched our curated gifting services to help men present meaningful gifts to women. Now, when these women receive these vouchers, they get to experience our VIP service, where they get to choose their own fabric and elegant style to have the clothes tailored for them. This will make the women feel really happy, yes, because many women complain that a lot of men don't get it when they are getting us gifts. So we help with that. What we have achieved so far has kept us motivated and kept us going. The feedback from our clients has also been super amazing, because we've increased in our brand visibility and market presence, which has shown in our potential of the growth. Now, we also passed through the rigorous screening for indie fashion designers to showcase at the Paris and New York Fashion Week 2025. And earlier this year, we purchased a landed property at Adenta, where we will be building our ultra-modern studio and educational facility to train more people to design properly. Now, this is a very touching story. What began with one sewing machine and a vision to transform design in Ghana is gradually turning into a sustainable fashion brand, which is going to be recognized globally. We are able to do this because we got 50,000 cedis from my personal savings, which was used to purchase the machines and every other thing we needed to start our fashion business. We got 100% return on the investment, and the profit was 41.6% between 2023 to 2024. Now, this has really been amazing because it has motivated us to really push and do more. So our future projections are going to be amazing. Now, with the investment of 150,000 cedis, which is the prize money, 25% will be going into our marketing and distribution. 25% will also go into expanding our workforce, because we want to create more jobs for the youth. And these days we are so pressured with the many orders we are getting, so we need to employ more people to bring more hands. That means more machines and equipment, which would be the 50% will go into expanding our ultra-modern design studio. We designed a very small studio, but if these funds come through, we would expand it so we can accommodate more. And for our projections, 150,000 cedis would turn into 480,000 cedis, and a profit of 81,910 cedis. Okay, 81,910 cedis. So our business is profitable, our profits are predictable, and it's really scalable. I won't be able to do this without my able team. So I have myself a multidisciplinary designer, which is graphics and fashion design. We also have Prosper, who takes care of our technical products. That's taking our photos, videography, and the likes. Social media is run by Jacob Hammond, and Solomon is our able graphic designer. He helps us to generate our sketches digitally, and it's been truly amazing working with this team. Now, we would like to ask you to join us as we expand our global footprint one perfectly fitted outfit at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, judges.
Hi.
Hi.
You said something in the beginning that piqued my interest. You mentioned an all-size chart.
Yeah.
Could you tell me more about that, because I found that very interesting?
Okay, so with the all-size chart, many women move one size up or one size down. This causes them to not have clothes to wear most of the time, because I personally had an experience where I had a meeting at the American Embassy, and I had this really nice dress in my wardrobe I wanted to wear. Not knowing when I had my baby, I had gained some extra weight. So when I picked up the dress, it wasn't fitting anymore. That was when I sat down and said, no, these sizes that we use, which is the usual size 8 to size 22, doesn't really work for our body types. So I came up with a system where if you are currently a size 10 and you turn to a size 14, you could still fit perfectly, like the beautiful piece I'm wearing right now.
Okay. So what did you do different? Because then the sizing guides are 8, 10, 12, and they are graded with increments of 2 inches, 1 inch, depending on where the bust, the hip. So tell me exactly what you did.
Okay, so with the use of maths, we found a common denominator between the 3 sizes and then created the patterns within that.
So that means that the clothes are not figure-hugging. They are just loose-fit clothes.
It's still figure-hugging because some of the pieces come with waist cinches that would accentuate your curves and then still make you look.
So technical details that help it fit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think from a business perspective, okay, any woman will really, show up for you if what you are offering is the fact that your clothes give us size up or size down, we're fine. I think that's such a great piece of the puzzle. It's probably the puzzle, know. And maybe look at that. Think of that.
Thank you so much.
Any further comments by judges? Our time is up. But
I'm just looking at the sustainability bit. What's it in all that you're doing?
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the question. Sustainability to me is having clothes that could last you for more than 10 years. Because if you buy clothes today and you have to lose it in the next 2 weeks or the next month, that is not sustainable. It could easily end up in the landfills and contribute to what we are all trying to solve now.
On that note, to err on the side of caution, I'm not sure whether our ladies like to keep their clothes for 10 years.
Okay, with my pieces, you could use them for 10 years because it comes with extra accessories that would help you style with other pieces in your wardrobe. So most definitely you would love to keep it for 10 years. Because if you have a belt or a waist cincher, which is so beautiful, that you could wear with one of your sweet black dresses, of course you'd wear it after 10 years. Even 20.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Abrita. Mr. Watson, you are talking about our ladies and their fashion choices and everything. One sustainability principle that we must drive into some of our ladies, not all our ladies, is the principle of sufficiency. Less is more. You see that thing? Because my sister be sitting there, if you open, in fact, we were selling the house and this lady comes with the husband. They run through the house. Oh, the house is nice, I love it. But the walk-in closet is small. This is a walk-in closet which is as big as the bedroom itself. And the lady said this one, so I was like, Madam, are you coming to open a boutique? I said, you don't know. Then we went downstairs to finish up the conversation. And the husband said, oh, tomorrow we are going for this person's wedding. Then she was like, I don't have a dress to wear. Oh. I said, Madam, he said, we don't know. So why don't you have a dress to wear? So, yeah, principle of sufficiency. We all need to do it, especially some of our ladies. Some, not all of you, right? Now, the next presenter, we have 2 more to go, and then we'll go for lunch. And when we get back, we'll have the next panel session. And then later, we'll get to know the winners. So 2 more businesses. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome GRC. GRC.
bearing gifts. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Gilbert Rami Kari, co-founder and manager of the Ghanaian media production business GRC Concepts. GRC Concepts is here because we've realized that a lot of young Ghanaians today are disconnected from their culture and their heritage. They are more interested in foreign lifestyles and media. But in as much as we're talking about ways to bring them back, I don't think we can progress without acknowledging how we push them away in the first place. Because today, of the over 8 million urban Ghanaians aged 7 to 25, 60% don't enjoy Ghanaian films and 90% don't read Ghanaian comic books. And this is because they are, one, uninteresting, unrelatable, and unaccessible. As a 25-year-old Ghanaian myself, this is something I know all too well. As a result, my co-founder and I decided to start GRC Concepts in 2016 because we wanted to tell stories that were interesting to young Ghanaians, that were interesting and relatable to young Ghanaians. And we wanted those stories to be easily accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time. So in 2017, we premiered our first feature film, The Slave King, to an audience of over 770 people at the Silverbird Cinemas. And in 2016, we launched our first comic book, Adventures in Pennsylvania, which is now available on Amazon and at all Kingdom bookstores nationwide. Since then, we've grown our Facebook following to over 6,200 people, and we've worked with over 10 brands, including Unilever, GTP, and John Moore, just to name a few. And we know people love our stories because we've asked them. We wanted to find out what they think about our work. And we have examples such as Kwame Adai, a cinematographer who recently graduated from NAFTI. He told me that The Slave King reinvigorated his love for Ghanaian films and was the reason he chose to pursue cinematography. And a lovely 11-year-old girl by the name of Yvonne, she loved Pennsylvania so much, she got her copy laminated and she's been reading it daily, waiting for the next edition. So we know people love what we do, but we're going to be adding more forms of storytelling, such as animation and video games. But the next step is to launch a monthly comic book anthology magazine that will be distributed digitally. And in the current space we're operating, our competition for film is the usual suspects, the Peter Sedufias, the Farmhouse Productions and Sparrow Studios. But in the digital era, we are competing with foreign media that you can find on Netflix and the like, as well as social media platforms such as YouTube. But when it comes to the anthology magazine that I mentioned, no one is operating in that space here in Ghana. And there's a lot of young people that are looking for this because they patronize brands such as Shonen Jump from Japan and Saturday AM in USA. We already did a survey to over 300 Ghanaians and we found that they are interested in having this brought here. So we based our model on that. Now, since 2018, we made a loss, but in the subsequent business years, you can see that we've grown our profits. And it's something that's only going to continue because we've learned from the mistakes of 2018 to build upon the new foundation that we are developing. In our current revenue streams of ticket sales, book sales, and sponsorships, we're going to be adding licensing and pay-per-views. Thankfully, all our projects have made a positive return on investment with the exception of The Slave King, but we're going to remedy that with an upcoming licensing deal we're trying to work on with Amazon Prime. And what we're planning to do with the 150,000 CDs is we are planning a three-way split evenly for our films, the magazine, and marketing and distribution. Because we have an upcoming short film on suicide prevention that's going to be screening at multiple locations nationwide and at film festivals overseas. For the anthology magazine, we're going to be distributing QR codes across various commercial spaces, bookshops, and libraries in order to get people to enjoy a free trial before they commit to a monthly subscription. And we're going to be doing a lot of digital marketing as we always have done because that's where our crowd are. We are a very capable team, but we're a small team comprised of a mother and son working together for a dream that started in 2010. I am former nominee of the Emmy Africa Discovery of the Year category. I'm one of only 8 Ghanaian recipients of the Netflix Creative Equity Scholarship, and I performed so well, I had the chance to go on a Netflix internship in Nigeria to work with Ebony Live Studios. My co-founder is a certified strategy professional with over 25 years experience, former Director of Marketing and Sales at Graphic Communications Group Limited, and CIMG Marketing Practitioner of the year 2015. I know that with Fidelity's help, GRC Concepts can fast-track its goal to promote Ghanaian culture through entertainment, employment, and artistic expression. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So 3 things. You said marketing and distribution, the anthology, the comic, and then the short film.
Not just the short film, the film division as a whole. The short film has already been shot, and it's in post-production right now. We're going to be releasing in September.
Okay. So if I asked you to choose one area to put all the money in, where would you put it? Because all these things require a lot of money.
Exactly, that's true. So if I was to pick one specific point, the one that I would likely focus all the money on is the filmmaking side, because that one is the most financially intensive. When it comes to the anthology magazine, one issue is going to be 30,000 CDs to produce, and that's money that we already have with us that we can immediately access. With the money going straight into the film, we can use it for our next production titled The Final Exam. We are going to go into production after we're done with the film festival rounds.
Okay, it would have been great for you to start this speech with like a 30-second reel of all the things you've done so we see.
I would have loved to, but I really would have.
So, let me ask you, who's your target?
So my target is urban Ghanaians between the ages of 7 and 25.
Okay, because you talked about, you sampled 300.
Exactly.
People. There's almost 35 million Ghanaians. If you sample 300, that's not even 1% of the population. So it's good to understand your target, and then let's look at the sample of that target. Because if we're looking at films, the films you are talking about, and then that's the age range of your target, is that content the kind of things that would appeal to them? But at the same time, the target you just mentioned, I could see how they would go for the anthropology stuff. So you kind of need to, that alignment wasn't too clear throughout. But yeah, all the best.
Thank you so much.
Any further questions? Okay. Thank you, GRC. A round of applause for him. And to our audiences on TV and radio, if you have any comments, you can just post online and just tag Fidelity Bank. We'll read some of your comments as we go along. We will take the final presenter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Church of Stories. Church of Stories. Reverend Minister. Please switch his mic on for him.
Hello, 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 hello. Hi, hello. Praise the Lord. I have always wanted the opportunity to say praise the Lord to a room full of people. Hi, everyone. So my name is Joe Wackel. I am a multidisciplinary artist who uses film, theater, and audio experimentation to tell really bold Ghanaian stories. And yes, so can you go back to the other slide, please? Yes, so what Church of Stories is looking at doing last month, in March, I spent days with students, visually impaired students in 3 different regions, in the Volta region, in the Central region, and then we went all the way up in the Northern region because we realized that in every space we enter in Ghana, personally for me, if I enter a space and I see accessibility stairways like outside, I get excited. And ever since we started this incubation program, every time I'm driving around any Fidelity Bank space, I just make sure to check if there is an accessibility space to make sure people can really enter. And this small thing does is that it has its way into our storytelling as well, where we don't care about people who are differently abled than us. So what Church of Stories is doing is we are looking at building Africa's powerhouse for inclusive and accessible storytelling next. And so Church of Stories was birthed in 2023. What we are doing is a production house that
we tell really bold and inclusive human stories across all the platforms, that is film, theater, and audio experimentation. And our stories seek to investigate how history and social politics influence our lived experiences. This is to say, most of the films and the works that I make, I do a lot of research into Ghanaian history to be able to tell these stories in a simple way. Back in school, I was a history student, and I figured out the ways we teach history in Ghana has a way where it's just flipping the pages and reading. But then I personally believe that we could have different ways in teaching history, and that's what Church of Stories is doing. Next slide. And the business model so far, we are into original productions and licensing, and then we also into talent development with workshops, and also we have events that we do. And next slide. So far, in the last 2 years, we have been able to work on films that had screened in over 25 plus international film festivals. Our last film premiered at the Cannes Film Festival last year in France, and then from there we spent about 5 months in Europe making sure that our films get to every film festival that is very, very much recognizable, because the whole point is to get Ghanaian stories outside to the whole world. And in 2 years, we have worked with over 100 cast and crews, and we've had multiple exhibitions in Africa and Europe with over 1,000 live audience. And yeah, we've also been able to work on for Cincinnati University, where we were able to document a story about Ghanaian spirituality for them. And next slide. Yeah, so what we also realize is that it's very expensive for anyone to go to the cinema. If I need to go to the cinema, the average Ghanaian minimum wage is 19 cedis. You need to save for 8 days to watch a movie. And then also, that is just for yourself. If you are going with someone, you need to save for 16 days to go on a date. So what we do is we have to make cinema accessible to everyone, we have Real Fellowship. And so far in Real Fellowship, it has 7 events, 3 venues, and 21 films have been screened to over 400 audience. And as part of our audience, we also look at storytelling as a way of documenting Ghanaian history. Next slide. So throughout this exhibition, one thing that really stood out for us, next slide, throughout the exhibition, one thing that really stood out for us is that there is limited cultural experiences for the visually impaired. So yeah, this was our last event, and what we are doing is that we want to make storytelling, especially Ghanaian storytelling, accessible to all. Because I can't say I'm making Ghanaian stories, but then you can't enjoy my story if you are visually impaired, or you can't enjoy my story if you are deaf. So that's what we are really doing. Next slide. And what we are asking for is to work on our next audio drama, The Gold Coast Darlings. The Gold Coast Darlings is an audio drama, a 6-part audio drama that explores the eve of Ghana's independence. And what we are doing is that for last year, we were able to go to 3 different schools, 3 different regions with our audio drama. But then for this year and next year, the next one goes out in March, and we are looking at giving ourselves a year. In a year, we want to be able to go to all 16 regions. Well, it used to be 10, but then now the work is difficult. There are 6 more regions. That's politics. Yeah, so we need to be able to get money to be able to take this audio drama to all schools. Every single region needs to be able to also experience Ghanaian stories. Okay, so next slide. Yeah, so this is my incredible team that I work with. And the next slide, please. Yeah, so what we are looking at, we are creating a cultural shift in storytelling to make storytelling accessible. And like I did say earlier, it's beautiful whenever I go to a Fidelity bank and I'm able to see that, yeah, it's accessible and everything, but we want you to come on this journey with us. It doesn't just end at people being able to get into the banks with their wheelchair, but I also want to be able that people are able to experience Ghanaian story, irrespective of whichever visually impaired or any other disability, because we look at doing stories for even the people who also have hearing aids with subtitles as well. So yeah, thank you very much.